Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Now I'm out and about today on an absolutely beautiful but very cold winter's day on the Royal Enfield Classic 350, one of my favourite retro bikes that you can buy today, and I've got this one on long-term loan, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. Anyway, I've been riding this for a couple of weeks now, getting to know the bike, and I've learnt that no bike is perfect, and there are a few things about the bike that do get on my wick a bit. So in this video, what I'm going to give you are the top 5 things that I don't like about the Royal Enfield Classic 350. So before we get into all the negative stuff, I must just preface this video saying that I absolutely love this bike, and there are way more than 5 things that I love about the machine. And before the bike goes back, what I'll do is an in-depth sort of summary of the bike, all the lessons, all the pros and cons that I've learnt, that'll give you the positives as well as the negatives on this bike. So if you want to watch that, do make sure you hit the subscribe button, and that way you won't miss it. All right, without further ado, let's crack on with those negatives then, and in traditional style, we'll do it in reverse order, starting with number 5. So to kick off then, number 5 on my list of the top 5 things I don't like about the Royal Enfield Classic 350 is a minor point, but nonetheless it's happened to me once or twice, and that is sometimes it can be hard to find neutral. So here we are, there's nothing behind me, just coming up to a junction here. Let's just try it now. Look, here we go. Right, I've stepped down, I'm in first. Oh, popped straight into neutral, no problem at all. So there we go, as I say, minor problem. And it didn't occur on that occasion. Oh, actually, I got a false neutral there. So every now and then, I do have a bit of a problem with neutral on this bike, either finding it or getting a false neutral. As I say, it doesn't happen a great deal. If you're positive on the gear change, then no big deal. And it is, you know, it's not a big deal anyway, is it really? But it's just one of those things that I've noticed on the bike. And as I was clutching at straws to find things that I don't like about this machine, I thought I'd make it number 5 on my list. Right, next up, number 4 on my list then of the top 5 things I don't like about the Royal Enfield Classic 350 is, again, minor point, but it's just something that niggles. If I pull over here, and I'll just quickly show you, got a car behind me, so just be a bit careful. So here we go, look, we come down here, you come to a stop, and as usual, let me just find neutral. Oh, there we go, easy that time again. And that is the side stand. It's quite hard to get down, it's quite stiff. So, it takes a real shove, that thing. But while I'm on the side stand though, it's not all bad. I mean, look at that, proper chrome, really nice side stand actually. It is just quite hard to actually kick up. He says, about to kick it up. There we go. So that's number 4 on my list. The top 5 things. Oh, there's a false neutral again. Of the things I don't like about the Classic 350. Side stand, well, that looks good and is well made. It's quite stiff to move down. I dare say a bit of grease, or maybe loosen it up a little bit, and you could fix that. So again, really isn't a big deal. Alright, moving on. Let's see if we can find something a bit more substantial that I don't like about the machine. Right, for number 3 on my list, I need to wind things up a little bit. I need to get the bike to around about 50 miles an hour. So let's go down this road here. Hopefully I can get a little bit of speed. It's a flipping cold day today, as you can see. It's only about 0 degrees. Right, round we go. Let's wind her up. 40. Right, 50 in top gear. And this is my next hate. I don't know if you can see in the mirrors because of the position of the camera, but they are quite blurred. At 50 miles an hour, in fact I'm doing 60 now in top gear, and they rattle and vibrate away. You can still see stuff in the back. It's not terrible, they are usable. But again, it's just a little pet hate of mine. Vibrating mirrors on a bike. It doesn't do it on my other bikes, so there's no need for it to do it on the Royal Enfield. But there we go, at higher speeds on the Enfield, the mirrors are prone to vibration. And that's number 3 on my list of the things I don't like about the Classic 350. So we're on to the important stuff now, on to number 2 of the top 5 things I don't like about the Royal Enfield Classic 350, and I had to jump off the bike to show you this one. Quite simply, the rear seat on the bike. I think it looks ugly. There we go. I mean, it does come off. You can take it off, but I just think that looks pretty horrible on there. But the other thing about it is, to take it off is not a straightforward matter. You have to undo this main bolt here where the shock absorbers go, and then I think there's some other, basically some other faffery. It attaches down it. Basically, it's a right old game to get on and off. So if you don't like the looks of it like I don't, then
you've got to get the spanners out. Not a huge deal, I know. I'm clutching at straws. I basically love this bike. There's not much about it I don't like. But one of the things I don't like, and at number 2 on my list, is that rear seat. It needs to go.
All right, then, time for the big one. Cue that drum roll, because it's time for the top thing, the number 1 thing that I don't like about the Royal Enfield Classic 350, and that is, it is actually the low power of the bike. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head what the brake horsepower output of this is, but it's around about 20, I think. So, and you don't buy these bikes because you want high horsepower. You buy them because you want to ride around the lanes and enjoy the view and put a smile on your face, and the bike absolutely does that 100%, as I've said many times before. But that said, it is a 350cc machine. I think you'd expect it to be a little bit quicker than this one is. This tops out at 70, well, about 73 miles an hour is the absolute max that I've had this bike at. Hello, what we got here? A little bit of four-wheel contention. Yeah, so I've been on a dual carriageway and I've sort of crept down on the tank on a fairly windless day, wound her up and kept her pinned dead open, and the absolute maximum I can get is 73 miles an hour. Now that's fine. 73 is, you know, ample for anywhere. Blimey, what is going on here? Great driving, folks. But, you know, if you're going to be on a dual carriageway and want to cruise at 70, then you're going to be absolutely pinning the throttle, and I don't think that's necessarily, you know, good for the bike. And alloyed with that, of course, it doesn't accelerate very quickly either. Again, you don't buy these bikes for their neck snapping torque and high speed, but just a little bit more power would have been nice. I mean, it rides, well, not that dissimilar to Mrs. Flyer's 125, maybe a little bit better than that. I'm doing it a disservice, but it certainly does not have a lot of power. Just be wary of that when you buy the bike. Have a good test ride, give it a big, you know, handful, and see if you can live with the amount of power that it outputs. If you're buying it just to poodle around the lanes, no problem at all. But if you want to do some serious distances or commuting on motorways and things, then you might want to look elsewhere. So that's number 1 on my list, the top 5 things I don't like about the Royal Enfield Classic 350. Just a little bit too low powered for my liking. Another 10 brake horsepower would have made all the difference.
Alright, so there we go. That's the top 5 things that I don't like about the Royal Enfield Classic 350. But let me just say, I absolutely love this machine. All the things that I've talked about today are all relatively minor. I mean, this bike is all about riding around the lanes, plodding along, enjoying the views, and having a big grin on your face. And those 5 things that I've talked about today are nowhere near enough to wipe that grin off my face. I absolutely love this bike. Anyway, that's it for this time. I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you want more on the Classic 350, then hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned. There'll be more videos along on this bike soon. All right, until next time, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.
Hey kids, we're the Missing the Flyers.